Hi guys, and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. It is another Wednesday, which means it is time for the Business as Unusual show. This is episode 61. Lockdown continues, but hopefully not for too much longer. But regardless, because it's continuing, we're continuing. So do get involved in the chat. We've got another guest today. We're going to hear from James very shortly from Trustpilot. So we're going to ask him some questions around the work that he's been doing and how trust plays a sort of significant part in particularly in the digital world that we live in at the moment. So if you've got any questions, put those in the chat as we go. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name's Luke. I'm the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus. We're a digital marketing agency. We focus on getting relevant traffic to our clients' websites. And if you're on our channels, do check out the content that we've been pushing out, which helps you to take your digital marketing first steps or to the next level, whatever that might be. So do check the content out on particularly on YouTube, and as ever, like and subscribe so you can get notification when we launch any new content. What a week it's been. Let's jump to the news and find out what's been going on. So, what has been happening in the news? Right, first off, a roadmap for easing COVID restrictions in England has been announced by the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The four-step release, which kind of sounds a little bit like a dance, makes sure that we can come out of lockdown for the very last time. Let's really, really hope that's the case. With step 4 on the 21st of June, when we will all be released into our natural habitats back into the wild. Fingers crossed, touch wood for that one. Speaking of wild, an MP taking part in a virtual debate yesterday was told that he was not allowed to speak until he was properly dressed. That was, could have gone wrong there. Jonathan Gullis, the Conservative MP from Stoke-on-Trent, tried to speak from his kitchen whilst wearing, wait for this, a jumper. Yeah. But was denied by the debate chairwoman, who made him skip his turn until he was properly dressed for the kitchen. Parliament. Meanwhile, elsewhere on Zoom, a school teacher, Mr. Cannon Jones, remained calm when spotting a parent of a kid he was teaching online having a seizure in the background. The calm teacher instructed his pupil to go outside and find help, potentially saving his life in the process. If that doesn't deserve a round of applause at the next assembly, I don't know what does. Mr. Cannon Smith, you are a hero. So please, boys and girls, put down your hymn books and clap your hands together in recognition of Mr. Cannon Jones and all of us getting through another hump day with another Business as Unusual. Hi guys, so welcome again to the Business as Unusual show, episode 61. We are going to be having the burning question of the week, so we're going to talk a little bit more about antitrust and competition around big tech. So we're going to sort of debate or talk a bit more about that later on. We're also going to chat to our guest James as well, and we're going to put him through the Mastermind Challenge, which is new for 2021. And we have our new leaderboard as well, so we'll see where everybody is on that. But without further ado, let's introduce James. Hello, sir. How are we doing?
Hi, Luke. Yeah, very well, thank you. On this Wednesday afternoon.
Indeed, yeah. It's, as always, we have a slight technical glitch pre-show, but fingers crossed we'll get through this. You've been moving around your house trying to find the strongest kind of Wi-Fi point. Is this the strongest point?
So far, so good. Let's hope it remains.
Yeah, absolutely. So how is 2021 treating you so far? How's the start of the year been?
Been very busy. It's been a really quick. I can't believe it'll be March already next week.
Where
Pilot is it's been super busy with everything moving online and how fast e-commerce has moved forward. Everyone seems to want to improve their online reputation or start to grow it. So we've been extremely busy at Trustpilot, and I was excited to hear Boris and his merry men release the four-stage process of maybe easing and coming out of lockdown, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. How has lockdown generally been for you? I say generally because it's now literally I don't remember. I can barely remember life pre-lockdown. Well, I know that's a lie. I can remember it very, very well. But it's been a long time, hasn't it, in lockdown? How have you been faring?
Yeah, not too bad. I've been enjoying working from home. Certainly finding it more productive, enjoyed it, got a nice little setup. The main thing that I've been missing out on is obviously the social interaction from all of your colleagues, going for the beer,
Yeah.
and just doing things on a social basis. It just seems bizarre, but that's nearly the best part of a year now. We haven't really been able to do it properly.
It is crazy, isn't it? I mean, as I said, I was kind of hoping, and I kind of keep these. This is like my sort of my main thing at the moment. But my birthday was the 23rd of March, and this is not so that I can get like more birthday kind of recognition. But that was the start of obviously the first lockdown, and unfortunately, we'll still be in technical lockdown on the 21st of March, 23rd of March. So I will be the first person to experience 2 lockdown birthdays, which is awesome. Which I think I will be kind of like add that to my kind of my CV as
It's an
well.
accolade.
It is. It's kind of, yeah. It's like I've been there and I've experienced it. But I plan to have, and I think we should all do this. Have a massive kind of makeup party in the later part of the year, like all the things that you've missed over the last kind of year. Probably the 22nd of June, I suspect. Assuming that timeline kind of sticks. What sort of any kind of crazy Zoom experiences? Anything that's happened in a remote world that since you've sort of been locked down, or is it just been kind of business as unusual through that period?
Just trying to think, really. It's a really great question. I'm sure there's been some instances on Zoom where I've kind of gone, "Oh, what's going on there?" or "What's that noise?" There was one the other day with my colleague. We were having just our morning catch-up call, and he didn't have his camera on. Admittedly, it was 9 in the morning, so some people don't want to put their camera on at that time, and we could just hear some really loud snoring. No idea what it was, and he hadn't spoken much. We could hear snoring really loud. And my boss Neil was talking everything, and then the snoring was getting louder and deeper. What is that? And I went, Dan, DK, what is that, mate? Are you asleep? And he went, oh no, sorry, it's my dog's asleep on my lap. And he put his camera on, and his dog was just out like that on his lap, just snoring its head off. But because we hadn't heard from him or seen his camera, we just presumed he'd logged into the catch-up call, just fell asleep. Yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean there are some bizarre things that happen, obviously in the remote world. That is a good one. I like that. That is. Did you record that? 'Cause that feels like some good content right there.
yeah, exactly. I have to get that posted somewhere.
Nice. Guys, thanks in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. We are so day 351 of our lockdown. Oh yeah, we were a bit early, weren't we, Danny? That's right. Yeah. So we've been in lockdown a little bit longer. We had a 2-week trial before this all kicked off, and that trial has never ended. And then we have thank you for the happy birthday, and Callie, so many lockdown birthdays, but we can make up for that. It's all good, people. We're going to have a big party to celebrate all of them. Let's go to the burning question of the week. Let's have a look at this. So the burning question of the week: should larger companies face more scrutiny under antitrust investigations? So it's a big question, and obviously I think this is going to be kick-started by what's happened in Australia with the sort of the access to the news. What's your take on that as well? Like what have you sort of observed, and how? I mean, I guess it's probably something that comes across, that you guys talk about at work as well. But what do you think this kind of means for the future? Is it going to be more regulated? Should big tech companies have to pay for access to content, even though they're essentially just a platform that distributes it? What's your thoughts?
It's a really great question. It very much is a hot topic at the moment. The Trustpilot, we released a report last week called our Transparency Report. It's the first time we've ever done it in our 13 years of going, and it just basically was an analysis and sort of deep dive into the world of reviews and what's been happening on Trustpilot. And we've actually published for the first time how many reviews we've removed from the platform.
Interesting.
So 5% of all of the reviews that are posted on Trustpilot as an average are removed. Yeah. Whether that be by human interaction, they've been reported to our content integrity team, we've reviewed it and deemed that content as unsuitable, or it's been automatically reviewed by removed, stick my teeth in, by our anti-fraud software. So we monitor about 100 different data points for anyone looking to leave a review on Trustpilot. Yeah. If something doesn't fit, looks a bit amiss, it will just get stripped straight away, and that was quite a large number of reviews that were taken off.
And that's really interesting, because obviously, you're self-regulating, because obviously as Trustpilot, the integrity of those reviews is essentially your brand. If they're not genuine reviews, then the whole kind of the point of the platform sort of diminishes, and therefore people wouldn't then spend money on adding it to their kind of website. But what about the likes of Amazon, which is obviously, it's their own platform. I believe they own they have their own proprietary sort of software for collecting reviews, and there's a lot of reports of obviously those reviews being, just made up, like companies that are specifically there to write glowing reviews for products, and I don't know how much they do to try and remove those.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, Amazon's first and foremost business plan is to be sort of an online e-commerce platform for people to buy pretty much anything on it. And they're probably a review platform second or third in nature. So it's not their kind of main focus, although everybody knows how important reviews are when making a buying decision, whether that's for a service or product. And we've taken those reviews at face value. So usually if a business has got a number of reviews over various timescales and various ratings, you can kind of get an overall picture of how valid that business is in those reviews. But there is the kind of the school of thought of how genuine those reviews are. Who is it that's posted that review? And that's where the work at Trustpilot has really kind of come into its own, because we just sit in the middle policing both sides of the fence. So we're independent of the company, and we just sit in the middle making sure that everything that's been posted on Trustpilot is from someone that's had a genuine experience.
Yeah.
So people can flag that to us, companies can report it to us, consumers can report it to us. We'll obviously do our best to look into it. But in terms of what you've sort of been reading about, the buying the reviews on Amazon in bulk, it is worrying, to say the least.
Because again, obviously reviews are really important. There's a question in the chat we'll come to in a second. They are obviously have always been really important, and I think it's I think one of your statistics actually that I use in one of my talks is something like 92% of consumers look for a review before buying a product. It's it's integral to that kind of that process. Amazon, you're flipping through, it's lots of similar products, and it's the reviews that often tip the scale in the favor of that particular product. But if they're not genuine, it's a real kind of issue. And I wonder if this is part of that regulation. Is that something that that might add a bit more regulation to that market, and maybe that's a good thing.
I agree. I mean, there's different ways in which all areas of things can be manipulated, and it just seems the hot topic at the moment has to be around the world of reviews. As everyone has been forced online more than ever in human history, one of the methods that businesses have maybe seen to manipulate, to maybe try and drive more sales inquiries, is through the world of reviews. So that's where the added scrutiny has come into. And I think it can only be a good thing, because we only want to be reading about genuine experiences. Consumers as well, we find, they seek authenticity as opposed to perfection. So they don't just want to see a business with 100 5-star reviews. No one trusts it. When you book in a hotel, even if it's a 4 or 5-star hotel, you want to read the dirt. And if the worst thing you could read is a towel's not folded into the shape of swan upon arrival, you're probably going to have a pretty good stay.
Which is devastating. Do you know what I mean? I do remember that the last time I went to a hotel, and
I think I saw your name leaving that review.
Exactly. I mean, look, I just want swans. Do you know what I mean? If I turn up at a hotel 5-star, I want nothing but swans, and that's it. And obviously I'm talking about towels. The question in the chat there, it was around 2021. Do you think that the reviews are going to be more important given the world that we're in? And I've been doing a talk around marketing in the future, or sort of the new world, like what's it going to look like? And we think reviews, particularly trust, is going to be really, really important. Is that something that you're seeing as well? Like, you mentioned obviously things have been pretty busy for you guys as people come online, but not only is it just the volume, but actually the weighting, the importance of those kind of reviews is kind of increased because of the pandemic and the need for people to trust people.
Exactly, and these big household names like Amazon getting their name bangled about throughout the newspaper has just elevated the platform of reviews and how important they are, and how the people would have maybe overlooked them previously. So I think it's really going to come into its own this year. In terms of Trustpilot and the activity we've been having on the platform, it's the biggest we've ever had. In terms of people viewing it, something crazy like every 28 days, Trustpilot's logos and branding throughout the internet is viewed something like 6.2 billion times. Which is just sort of goes to show that people are seeking it out, whether organically or they're just sort of ending up with it, basically.
Yeah, no, incredible. Right, that was that. We managed to talk about that way more than I anticipated. Actually, I was like, wow, that's a challenging topic for today, which is awesome. But we're going to quickly move to the elevator pitch. We're nearly at the halfway point, but we're going to go straight to the elevator pitch to find out more about you. So here we go. Okay, this is the elevator pitch there. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the comments there. I'm not sure who runs the restream chat for us whilst we're doing it. This is Alex. But so I'm saying, should we start giving away towel swans with our SEO services? No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying if I booked a hotel, I want to see swans. I want to see my towels and swans on arrival. If not, they're going to get a bad review. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Enough said. Moving past the towel swans. Right. So this is just to get 60 seconds on the clock. James, bit of an intro to yourself and to the work you do. Sorry, it is definitely Alex. It's an introduction to yourself and the work you do at Trustpilot. Here we go.
Brilliant. Thanks, Luke. So, I'm James. I've been at Trustpilot just shy of 3 years now, and I work in the partnerships team. So I manage all of our external partners on the agencies that help with SEO, pay-per-click, social media, things of that nature, and I support their clients looking to join Trustpilot and come on board with us, and also the kind of existing clients as well, so helping them yield the sort of getting the maximum returns out of Trustpilot. Once upon a time, used to do a lot of physical events as well, so when we were at the various expos, I used to sort of stand on the sand there and speak to people face to face. And then in terms of the day-to-day role within Trustpilot, also supporting the various guys and girls selling our software. So if, for example, they are speaking to a prospect that uses one of my partners, get in touch with that partner and they can help us support that opportunity and bring them on board, basically.
Wow, look at that, with seconds to spare as well. And you were obviously you were talking about talking to the team as well, our team recently, about the importance of brand trust as well. So you're out there kind of educating, working with the providers that are obviously looking to try to get their clients involved with this as well, which is great as well. What's the sort of the main bit that you enjoy about the role? Or the new role, given that you're working at home a bit more now?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's just nice that you can delve into any industry. So I can be speaking to someone in the legal services space, and then I can be speaking to someone that's selling trainers online. It's very varied. And it's quite interesting to get all of these different insights from different people selling different things, offering different services. It keeps it interesting, keeps it varied.
Yeah, I bet it does. We are now past the halfway mark, so we're going to kind of run that, and then we're going to come back and find a little bit more about what you're up to. Look at that, someone standing outside. The good old days. I enjoy those. Do you get to see someone? I'm guessing you get to see quite a lot of these reviews. Is there a particular review that do you kind of get to sort of share them around the office with, either just like the reviews that have made you laugh, or something that's really stand out? Because I've seen, you see stuff on like Lad Bible and stuff like that, where just people go to town on a review, and some of them are absolutely genius. Is there sort of an internal kind of like leaderboard of the best, the funniest reviews? Do you get a chance to look at them?
We do get to kind of review it, I guess, on an individual basis, but we don't have any sort of internal leaderboard. But there is one that stood out to me the other day. I can't remember the specific company that had the review left, but they are an Irish kind of appliance installer. So if you buy a new fridge, a new oven, for example, they come to your property and they'll fit it for you. And the review that was left is couldn't recommend this company anymore, could not fault the service. The chap, John, he was particularly helpful, a lot skinnier than me, which meant he could get behind the existing fridge and push it out, and then the bigger guy could carry it down my stairs. Very, very helpful. I'd give him just the 5 stars. And I could just picture that whole thing happening. So a bigger guy carrying the massive fridge up the stairs, and then the sort of skinnier guy that is strategically placed to slip in behind and push the fridge out. But it was just brilliant that they'd put that in review. That was certainly a genuine experience that was left.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't sound like a kind of an automated or a kind of a bulk review, does it?
Yeah, I don't think you get a robot posting something like that somehow.
So top tips. How do you spot a fake review? What's your sort of again, don't obviously reveal the company secrets. I'm sure it's pretty complicated anyway. But what are the sorts of things that you kind of keep from your experience that stand out as clearly a fake review?
Yeah, exactly. So there is an algorithm and a sort of anti-fraud software which is far more intelligent than me, dare I say, that will be looking at many different data points that humans just couldn't do in the time frame it does it. And I mentioned it early on this call that it's about 100 different data points. So, for example, if a consumer has left an in-store review for in-store review, they've popped into B&Q, for example, and they've left a review, and then 5 minutes later they're leaving a review on the other side of the world, their IP address is bouncing everywhere. It's going to go, hang on a minute, 1 minute you're in Reading, the next minute you're in Kuala Lumpur, something's got to be up here. So it'll look at the IP addresses. It will also look at the devices as well. So is this going to be left from an iPad, a mobile device, desktop, your PC, for example? It will look at the amount of text that's been typed in the time frame that review's been posted. So if someone's typed at 250 words in a second, something looks a little bit suspicious there. And we've also got kind of organic reviews as well. So anybody can go onto Trustpilot and leave an opinion at any stage about a business or product experience. And if all of a sudden a business is getting like 25 all 5-star reviews within the space of a few minutes, and they haven't had anything before that, we'll actually screen those reviews. So we'll reach out to it and go, hey, Luke, you left a review for B&Q. Thanks so much for that. But can you provide us evidence that you are a genuine consumer? So we're kind of quarantine. We'll dip test a number of the reviews, reach out to the people that have left them to just kind of understand that they've had a genuine experience and that it is a real reviewer. Okay. And then we'll obviously investigate that.
It kind of reminds me of, it's obviously like a combination, almost like the SEO principles. So there's the kind of element of Google obviously using its algorithm to look at potentially link building. There's a lot of similarities there with the kind of almost the link like the speed at which you acquire those links, the IP address, sort of etc., and language that's used, and also the anti-fraud system in HSBC as well, which I get calls from time to time with, did you just buy that product? Yes, I did just buy that product. Yeah, nice. So it's kind of combination of those two things that are applied with a bit of with a manual element of sort of sanity checking those if there's a sort of increase in those reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the robot is fantastic and does a brilliant job. And we'll also have the human beings in our content integrity team that kind of go above and beyond. So if a business is saying, hang on a minute, we disagree with this, or we've seen a rise in this, can you look into it? They can obviously imply that human element to it, really, and the common sense. And again, we don't favour the business or the consumer. We're just independent of both, really, and police it in that way works best.
Absolutely, makes sense. Right, well, let's move away from reviews a second. Let's go to the Mastermind Quiz, where you've got an interesting topic that we're going to be discussing, which is based on your lockdown habits. So let's go to Mastermind and find out what your topic is. That's right. It's time for the Mastermind Quiz. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. So here we have the current leaderboard. We have Rob Dando from Finally in first place, Rebecca Smith in second place, and equal third. Oh no, hang on, sorry, equal second place. We have Rebecca, Andrew, Georgie. Oh God, I can't even speak. Third place, Graham and Rich. So basically, to get onto the sort of podium with an equal third place, you need 5 points across these 2 rounds. Okay, so we're going to start off obviously with your specific selected topic. Do you want to tell us about your selected topic and what made you go for this area?
Yeah, absolutely, Luke. So your team reached out to me and said, James, what is your mastermind topic? What are you thinking? I was thinking, God, what shall I pick? And I thought, do you know what? I've been eating a lot of food and I've been cooking a lot through lockdown. It only seemed fitting that I would choose that. So we'll see how much I've consumed or what the questions you've picked out and how well I do.
It's such a broad topic. I think you're very brave. I'm not going to lie. Like I tell you, and again, I just really don't know what I would choose if I was ever asked to do it. I don't think I have a specific knowledge set. I don't know. Yeah. So I think you're very brave. I'm not going to lie. Let's see it's almost how friendly, how nice the guys have been to you with these questions. Okay. I'm not even gonna. I'm just looking. Hang on. I'm just checking out that third question. I'm not even gonna read. I can't even read that. So I'm gonna skip that. Right. Okay. We're gonna have 60 seconds on the clock for the first round. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. Okay. Which type of beans are used to make baked beans?
That's good. Runner beans.
Incorrect. Which flower does the spice saffron come from?
Flower? Is it hibiscus? It is a... No, what it is off the top of my head. No, I don't know. Pass.
Apart with pass. Who owns a microwave?
That will be... oh, God, what is her name? Got an absolute mental block. She's my favourite as well.
Should we come back?
I kind of... you come back.
What name is given to sweetened egg whites beaten until they are stiff, light and airy?
Meringue.
Correct. What type of cream is typically used on a scone? Clotted. Do you remember the one? So who owns a microwave?
I can't think of her name. It's really annoying me.
What Okay, right. I literally stumbled, but I wanted to start that so I could give you a chance to answer this question. So, what is it called to cook food in hot water before putting under cold running water to halt the cooking?
Boiling?
That is incorrect. The correct answer is blanching. So I think you've got two correct answers. The third question was the one I was going to skip because I was honestly like, what on earth? But whilst I was saying that, someone's jumped in and said, read it as it looks. And the correct answer was Nigella Lawson.
That's it.
I could see the annoyance of like, mental block just come in. So which flower does the spice saffron come from? That is a crocus. Oh, Callie's got that right in the chat as well. Which type of beans were used to make baked beans? That is haricot beans. Didn't
just say cannelloni for some reason. That was the other one that was in my mind.
Right. So look, you've got some work to do here. 3 questions to correct on this next one in order to be in equal joint third place with whoever I can't remember their names now. But yeah, so we've got to get 3. Okay, so that's the focus. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Name the best-selling book series of the 21st century.
Pass.
Which famous graffiti artist comes from Bristol?
Banksy.
Correct. How many keys does a classic piano have?
40.
Incorrect. Who invented the World Wide Web?
Tim Berners-Lee.
Correct. What was the clothing company Nike originally called?
Pass.
When was Netflix founded?
2013.
Incorrect. What is the name of the coffee shop in the sitcom Friends?
Starbucks.
Incorrect. What percentage of the average human male's body is water?
70%.
Incorrect. When did Boris Johnson become Prime Minister?
2019.
Give us a month.
January.
Oh, so close. No, it was unfortunately July, and by close I mean it began with the same letter, not in terms of date. Right. I'm afraid you didn't get the 3 questions that you needed to reach the board. The guys are going to update that in just a second. So let's have a look at those questions. We got name the best-selling book series of the 21st century, Harry Potter. You got Banksy correct. How many keys does a classic piano have? 88. You got Tim Berners-Lee. What was the clothing company Nike originally called? I had no idea about this one. This was Blue Ribbon Sports, apparently. Wow. When was Netflix founded? Was 1997. What was the name of the coffee shop in the sitcom Friends? Central Perk. What percentage of the average human male body is water? You said 70%. It was 60%. And when did Boris Johnson become Prime Minister? July 2019. So tough questions, and it was very tricky. But I'm afraid that leaves the total. I don't know if the guys have managed to update the score, the leaderboard at the moment. They have indeed. You are there in 4th place on your own, so that's good. You're not having to sort of like share with someone else, so that's a positive in itself. Well done for. I mean, as I said, the food one, that really could have gone any way, couldn't it? I mean, that was a tricky one.
I can't believe I didn't get Nigella Lawson.
Well, that was
because I shared that with everyone at Trustpilot when the Microwave came out. I just shared it with everyone because I found it hysterical. And then when you said it, I went, I've just got a blank, and she's called Caroline for some reason in my head.
Amazing. No, to be honest with you, I had absolutely no idea. So I would have just completely blanked. Any form, again, TV, I'm useless at as well. So you're braver. You're a braver man than I. I would have not got a good score on any of those. The only one I might have got was the piano with 88 keys, but that would have been absolute random knowledge that the rest of them I'd have absolutely struggled with. So in 4th spot on your own independently. So that's good. Let's jump back into the main interview. So not the most successful mastermind quiz, but you are, as I said, on your own in fourth spot, and I think that's a really, really tough topic. What's been the sort of the go-to dish that you've been cooking, or have you literally just varied everything during lockdown? Have you just tried new stuff?
Tried loads of new stuff, to be honest. Been cooking a lot of tagines. I perfected my carbonara. Love cooking Italian food, so I do a lot of the Italian cuisine.
Nice.
Love a steak. I've been eating all sorts of things. There's not really anything I don't eat, to be honest.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, I can see that. And you mentioned it might be washed down with the odd alcoholic beverage as well at the same time. You into your red wines as well to go with the Italian food?
Yeah, absolutely. It was getting a little bit out of hand in what we class as silly season in December, and I thought, well, I better just do dry Jan for the first time in my life, just ease off a little bit.
Nice.
So that went well.
Yeah.
Didn't crack at all.
Good stuff. But now a few beers or a few wines since that point.
I've stopped drinking alcohol Monday to Thursday.
It's very brave of you.
Just being
It's very, very brave of you.
Yeah. Just I guess about 5 o'clock, I just start switching.
Absolutely. And again, there is a sort of a danger here as well that obviously the 22nd, again, if we stick to the timeline, 22nd of June might be, slightly, there might be a few drinks being shared at that point, and I suspect there might need to be some people preparing themselves for that as well. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. James, we are out of time, but thank you so much for coming and talking to us about the work that you've been doing. A final question: any businesses that you wanted to sort of shout out that are doing a particularly fantastic job building that trust online?
Oh Christ! I think, to be honest, they've all been doing a pretty stellar job on the platform as a whole, really, because they've kind of been elevated to it. I think the work of the e-commerce space just needs a bit of a shout out, because that has been going absolutely mental. I think it's moved forward 3 to 5 years in 3 to 5 months, and it must be a nightmare to get all those parcels out on time, all logistics. So I think that needs a bit of a shout out to manage all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's fraught with poor reviews if you don't manage to do it right as well. So yeah, good work on all the sort of the e-commerce front. So nice one. But Gail, thanks very much for joining us. And yeah, no doubt, best of luck for hopefully returning to some sort of normality in the office as and when the doors can open again. So thanks again for that, James.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's been great. Thanks, Luke.
So guys, that is it from us. We will be back again next Wednesday at the same time. So do, as I said, like and subscribe, hit that bell if you are on YouTube so that you get notified as and when the next video comes out. And again, do check out the additional content that sits on our platform if you're looking to get more information on the digital marketing. Thanks very much to everybody in chat for getting involved and for those questions. It's another mad week. Who knows what's going to happen next week? But for all of us, it is just business as unusual.